we are going to talk about sharing rules. Sharing rules are primarily of two types: criteria based sharing and owner based sharing. When we say sharing, what we are trying to imply here is that we are sharing the record with other users, or we want to share certain records with a certain set of users. How we can do that? So there are two options. First is criteria based sharing, the other one is called owner based sharing. So let's discuss both of them in detail and see how we can create them as well. So let's switch to our org. We'll again go to our favorite place, which is setup, and go to sharing settings. Yes, the sharing rules and OWD reside within the same header, which is sharing settings, right? So when you reach here, you would see OWD, but you need to scroll down a bit. And here you see sharing rules. So sharing rules for each of the object that you would have in your org, you would see that. And you can just scroll that to the object which you want to play around with. So let's play with lead for this training purposes. We'll click on new, and this would bring you to a screen like this, where you would give your sharing rule a name, and then you would select the type of your sharing rule. So one is record owner based sharing rule, another one is criteria based. So let's see how record owner based works. So let's call it lead record owner based rule, and that would give the API name as well. So we are saying record owner based, and so the third step here says select which records which need to be shared, right? So let's say we'll say roles, and we can select any particular role. So let's say we'll select the team member UK, which we saw in the previous video, and now we'll select the users we want to share this particular record. So let's say I want to share it with a role Western sales team. Now we'll see the role hierarchies once again. So this is where our team member UK sits, so which is under team lead UK and sales director UK, and we are thinking to share these records with Western sales team, so which is definitely not within hierarchy of team lead member UK. So how? See, so based on role hierarchy, sales director and SVP sales and marketing would get access, but Western sales team would not get access using role hierarchies, because it's not directly related to the team member, and neither it sits above the team member, right? It's not above the hierarchy of the team member UK. So then, but still we want to share these records. Why do we want to share? It's a business requirement. The business wants us to do that. So this is what we are doing. And then you would select whether you want to give the read only access or read write access. Let's say we want to give read write. We will save it. Right? It would give you a pop-up saying recalculation will work. So basically it would calculate, it would run some algorithms and identify what kind of access is now available to each set of users, so that it's quicker when the users try to access those records. You just need to click OK, and it would do the job in the background. You don't need to worry about that. You would see this yellow marker for some time, but it would go away automatically. You don't need to worry. Just give Salesforce a couple of minutes and it should be sorted. Unless your data set is very huge, then it might take some time to get the sharing rules set for your whole org. Let's create a criteria based sharing. So again, we'll give it a name. So let's say we'll give it criteria based rule, and we'll select based on criteria, and then we'll select the criteria here. So let's say we want to share all the records which have their country set as UK. Then we want to share all of those records with the Western sales team, like we did in the previous sharing rule, right? So how we would do that? So we would select country here, and the country equals to, let's say, UK, and it could be that somebody might write it as United Kingdom as complete, right? As the complete name. So we'll write both, and we'll also create a filter logic, and instead of and, we'll switch it to or. So if the country name is UK, or the country name they have, let's say, written it complete, which is called United Kingdom. So then if we have either of these, and then we would say share it with role, and we'll select the same role, which is Western Sales Team, and we can grant access read only or read write. This time we'll give it a read only access, right? Here you see an important checkbox which says include records owned by users who can't have an assigned role. So when you create a user in Salesforce, profile is a required field, but role is not a required field. So there could be certain users which don't have a role. Ideally, you should give a role to each of the users as a good business practice, but in case it's not, then you can check this box and it would do the calculation accordingly, right? And then you click save. Again, you'll see the same pop-up, click OK, and then boom, right? You'll go to leads again. Where is lead? And here you can see the calculation has been completed and you are set to go. So that's how you create sharing rules in Salesforce, and this is a way of granting access to a different set of users who would not get access using basic profile level, permission level, and role level hierarchies, right? So if none of these work, then you use sharing rules, and then you grant access using sharing rules to the users. And again, you have two options here: criteria based and record owner based sharing. If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday 3 to 4 p.m. GMT, which is 7:30 to 8:30 IST. And please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.